What an absolute train wreck. I agree, Michael Cole. I agree. Yes, I'm agreeing with Michael Cole. There's a first time for everything. The sky is falling. The giant meteor will soon hit and eradicate us all. I'm agreeing with Michael Cole. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the insanity. I'm John Wright with my review of WWE Raw from Ontario, CA. No, not that one. They're not void in Ontario. It's Ontario, California. I always forget that California has an Ontario. Anyway, before I dive into the review, rest in peace, David McCallum. The man from Uncle and Ducky from NCIS. A lengthy goddamn acting career. One of the most iconic characters of modern television. Ducky, tremendous, entertaining character, great backstory, all that, even before NCIS. Basically went to absolute shit, losing cast members, and Mark Harmon going absolutely batshit insane for no goddamn reason. Rest in peace, David McCallum. 90 years old. Just celebrated his 90th birthday like a week ago. A life well lived. Rest in peace. So yeah, Raw. We're getting close to Fastlane. Also want to say before I dive even further into the review that if you see less Raw reviews in the coming weeks, I apologize. I might even be taking a full-on break from reviewing Raw starting in December, at least for that month, because good grief. There were parts of this show I liked, but also I'm not likely going to review NXT No Mercy, and here's why. I'm going to be busy with work, and also I'm watching the slate of AEW programs that are taking place in Seattle. I work early Saturday, and then I'm going to go to Collision. I'm going to come home, review that. And then I'm going to go to sleep. And I'm going to do the same thing on Sunday. And I'm going to go watch a pay-per-view. It's probably going to be all of or every bit of 5 hours. So if I don't end up reviewing No Mercy at all, I apologize. So anyway, Cody's here to a pop. And goodbye to the live feed because we go right to recaps. He says, I want to talk about Jey Uso. I want to talk about this. And he brought Jey Uso over. He's going to go to SmackDown, folks. That's what Cody's going to do. He wants to finish the story. You know, the story that really hasn't been all that great, but some people like it, and that's fine. Here's Judgment Day. Again, Dominic gets booed. Again, I'm sick of Judgment Day. I get the point, but I'm sick of it. It's not like the NWO, because at least the NWO drew ratings. Raw and NXT are being kicked off of USA. They're going to have to be shopped elsewhere because USA decided, hey, SmackDown's ratings are worth paying for. Raw had the lowest rating last week. So maybe they'll end up going to Amazon. That'll be interesting. So anyway, here's Jay and Sammy and Owens. 15 minutes. 15 minutes of this. And then McTuna shows up and we get a brawl. And that's not the only brawl that we end up having. And yes, they had the parts moving, but it's with people they've interacted together for so long. Otis, along with Maxine, they were ready for Here Comes Bronson. Now they're going down to Otis's Fixer Shop to fix the Alpha Academy. And 20 minutes into the show, we got the first match. Throwing Otis. Throtus, as it were. Throtus sounds like something Mac. Nope. Not going to say that. Tsunami. 1, 2, 3. Maybe 4 minutes. That's about it. I mean, they did big man stuff. It didn't last long. And if they had Otis be less goofy and stupid, then I would probably buy into him more. But the crowd was into this. I will give the Ontario crowd that much credit. They were into most of this goddamn show. Not the whole goddamn thing because it's 3 fucking hours and there's a lot of lull periods. But they were into quite a bit of it. It was a pretty packed house. I think the arena is about 11K. They had about 7,500, 8,000 people. According to WrestleTix, that's a pretty big goddamn crowd. Then Becky tells Negan, step on some toes. You know, Kerry Von Erich could have stepped on some toes, except he only had 5 toes on the ground after, June of 1986. Anyway, Pierce then tells Natty and Tegan a little bit later, go fight, go do something, get out of my office. Then Ciampa took on Kaiser. Well, they were expedient here because we had just ended the previous match 8 minutes before. Usually there's lengthy breaks, and I can't help but I'll try to ignore it. I do try to actually ignore it, but I can't help but focus on it. It basically is what I'm trying to say, just because there should not be that much dead air. But they got right to the next match. Later, Vinci interfered and got hit in the face, and then a flash knee. 1, 2, 3. 8 minutes, maybe. A few minutes are on the air. They go to the break so goddamn quickly with these matches, you can't get into it. If they went at least 3 to 4 minutes, came back and had another like 5 to 6, I'd be for it, but sometimes they don't even do that. So package on Dragon Lee. They were really pushing the whole thing of Dragon Lee making his Raw debut, or Raw in-ring debut. Becky joins for commentary for Natty versus Tegan. The crowd actually had some split chants here. This wasn't bad. I like Natty. Natty can work. Tegan is fine, except I don't really find her particularly interesting. I haven't been given a reason to find her interesting. Tegan wins in literally 3 minutes. I mean, it didn't take that long. And this was only 7 minutes after the second match ended. So they were cramming some matches in. I'll give them credit for that. I'm like, wow, they're actually going to go full 3-hour Nitro. They're going to keep putting matches in. Well, then they hit a proverbial wall. So, by the way, I had a brief downpour that interrupted Seth Pheasant Rollins' entrance. Literally, it was a waterfall. Don't worry, I listened to the Lord and Savior's TLC and did not go chasing them. And then we were back. Seth apparently decided to take influence from Pitch. Shout out to Catwoman13 for pointing that out. Pitch, if you get that, you are a diehard MST3K fan. He wants to face Nakamura again. I'm boiling this stuff down because while I appreciate what they're trying to do with this feud, I have been given no reason to believe they're ever going to feature Nakamura properly. They'll rebuild him, and then he'll lose, and he'll lose, and he'll lose, and it'll go right back to normal. So Nakamura says, well, it's going to be last man standing. A particular friend of mine called this, didn't want to say that he called this. You did, and yeah, we're both mad. We're both mad because last man standing probably means that unless they work this properly, it's just going to be the same as a lot of standard last man standing matches where they'll probably use a bunch of weapons and furniture, and it won't mean anything. Seth accepts eventually. Okay, Jackie is not cut out to be a backstage interviewer. She's not. She was lost both times they cut to her. There's something not right about this. Ricochet is on crutches because Nakamura took out his ankle. I mean, obviously it's kayfabe, at least I hope so. I hope he's all right. I hope he's actually just selling an injury and it's just a storyline injury. But anyway, they're really putting over Dragon Lee. And then Dragon Lee had to face Dominic. And there were people that were praising this. Oh, it's Dominic's best match. That's not saying much. He didn't drop somebody on their head entirely. Dragon Lee had to herniate every disc in his body and every nerve trying to carry. No one is going to live long enough for Dominic to get good. This was for the North American Championship. The crowd was into it. Dragon Lee can work. And then eventually he got crotched on the ropes and Dominic hit a frog splash. 1, 2, 3. So he took advantage of a situation. Okay, can't argue with that. The thing is, this was 26 minutes after the third match ended. That's unforgivable. That's fucking ridiculous. This is going to be Dragon Lee's legacy in WWE. He could win the North American Championship, but it's just going to be mostly that he'll have like one reign and he will just lose. He might win a couple matches here and there, but he's going to put on great performances and he's going to lose. He's going to lose because they don't see anything in him. I'm sorry, but he could face Dominic this Saturday and win at No Mercy. It's not going to matter. I don't think that any of Judgment Day are going to lose the titles or any of their titles until Priest cashes in at Fastlane, which I think is going to happen. Recaps of Nia's return. Owens and Zayn, they want their tag titles back. Michael Cole interviews Nia. This was one of the worst interviews I've ever heard. Vince McMahon deserves to go to the deepest, darkest depths of hell for re-signing Nia. And if you think that Nia actually is beneficial to the company, you need to have your head examined because she's not. She couldn't cut a goddamn good promo here. She says she's the baddest human in WWE. You're a bad human. I'll agree with that. You're a piece of shit, and I, honest to God, hope that you rot from the inside out. The fans want her to death. It would be a shame if they shamed her to the point that she cried and left the goddamn company, but she has no shame. She's a piece of shit and only there because of nepotism. I don't have any jokes about Zoe. I, honest to God, hope that Zoe just leveled her. I mean, you can't damage Nia's brain. She doesn't have one. Anti-vax pieces of shit like her don't have brains. But Zoe versus Nia, 17 minutes after the last one, and Nia is as clumsy and as careless as ever. She's going to injure multiple people, and anyone that is rooting for her, you're fucking morons. So, and I normally don't say that, but I'm sorry, Nia, if you take even the stupid beliefs that she has never been good in the ring. She is horrible to watch. Absolutely horrible. Nia wins. The women's division is dead until Nia Jax gets fired or injured. I honest to God would be good with whatever. If it gets Nia Jax off of television, I'm good. Nobody can get a good match out of her. Anyway, Jay says that he's doing it on his own, and then he disproves that later. Or he'll prove that he's a team player. I don't care. I don't care. I'm done with the Bloodline stuff. I'm done with the Judgment Day stuff. More Judgment Day. Priest needed time to cool off. Miz TV with Drew. New Day shows up. Drew kept saying he's not a coward. Told Miz to shut up a bunch of times. They made dick jokes about Drew being Big D. He headbutted Miz. We're going to have a match with Drew and Kofi eventually. We then cut to Gable and Co. Kaiser hits on Maxine. She tells him no means no. Drew and Kofi had a decent enough match 22 minutes after the previous one ended. 3 minutes to the break, and it was what it was. An apron spot, the hardest part of the ring. Oh. Then Ivar and Valhalla show up and attack Xavier. Valhalla standing anywhere near you must smell like a goddamn pile of crotch rock from a goddamn college party. I'm going to say right now, Valhalla's a piece of shit. Just look at it. Just take a look at your fucking socials. Or better yet, don't. You will probably get a communicable disease getting that. So anyway, Drew wins. Kofi's laid out by Ivar, and Drew won't help them again because he's frustrated and probably going to walk out of the company because his contract's up sometime early next year or by Mania. Gunther is pissed off at his goons and says, Giovanni's your responsibility, and if he screws up, we're going to have a problem. And if you screw up, we're going to have a problem. They're teasing breaking up Imperium. Just, unless this is going to lead to Gunther winning the world title, and after he loses the Intercontinental title, whoever, hopefully somebody good. I don't know why they keep teasing this. Kevin Owens and Sami Owen, says Michael Cole. You know what? Whatever. Because Sami and Kevin had a match with the Judgment Day, and look, the crowd is into it. For the tag titles, jumpstart, we did not go very long before the break. 4 minutes, second break. Crowd was into it. They were keeping the pace up. The problem is, I've seen all these people fight each other so many goddamn times. Then we got Chaos with Jay and JD and Cody. It's all a mess. And then JD hits Sami with the title. And Judgment Day wins. And then everybody brawls again. We'll see you this Sunday for the Royal Rumble. In a couple weeks, I'm going to be going to watch a mystery movie. It's on the 2nd, by the way. Or not on the 2nd, but on the 9th, the Regal mystery movie. I will see if I even bother reviewing Raw that night. We'll see. That being said, let's see what happens at Fastlane. I mean, we'll have to. We don't have a time machine. Mine's in the wash. Anyway, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rentland. I'll see you soon.